Welcome to What's Happening on the Hill. On this podcast, we will share highlights, stories, and all of the things that make Cottage Hill Christian Academy the place to be. You'll get to hear from our faculty and staff, students, coaches, alumni, and other members of the Warrior family tell about the life and the legacy of our school. Join us as we explore all the latest happenings and news on the Hill. This is What's Happening on the Hill.
Welcome back for episode 2 of What's Happening on the Hill. We are thankful for all of you that has joined us so far on this journey, and we're excited, and we're just getting started.
Yeah, so it's been really fun being able to kind of dream this up a little bit the past couple of weeks. And just like you said, we're thankful for those who have joined in so far. But one thing, we would love to hear your feedback. What are some things that you would like to hear us talk about, some topics you would like us to cover? And just, again, we want your input on this. So feel free to shoot me an email or DM us or send us a message on any of our social media platforms. And we look forward to hearing from you and just kind of see what happens as we continue to work on this project. So yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into this week's episode. Mr. Brazell, I know the last 20 months has been probably a kind of crazy ride for the staff here at Cottage Hill. And I know that the team has been so hard at work behind the scenes, working on accreditation and new strategic and operational objectives for the next 5 years, which is kind of a long time to think about. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that process?
Well, Katie, the last 20 plus months since the transition into this new role as head of school, it's had its challenges, to say the least. But back in the May of 2021, our first goal was to establish our leadership and administrative teams. Our second goal was to fill the vacancies we had and hire 9 new educators to join the Warrior family. And then look at ways that we could take our school from being a good school to a great school. I cannot thank our leadership team enough for their countless hours as we began this journey together. Then as excitement was in the air and we were about to open the doors and welcome students back on campus, COVID reared its head again. And that's when we faced additional challenges. But I can't thank our faculty and staff enough for finding a way, implementing a plan, so no loss of in-person instructional time happened on our campuses. I will be forever grateful for those first months as head of school, and then we started turning our focus, our attention on our accreditation journey while still operating, in my opinion, in a very effective way for our families. So in the fall of 2021, I attended a conference in the North Georgia mountains with 40 other superintendents and heads of schools across the nation, mainly for my professional development. Their student enrollment for their campuses ranged from 400 to 2,000 students, and basically this was put on by an organization called the Champion Group.
Yeah, so y'all maybe as a Warrior family have heard a lot about the Champion Group, but Mr. Brazell, why don't you kind of tell us about that partnership and what we've done with them and what they've done for us?
Absolutely. Little did I know that the relationships and the blessings formed from that retreat and that conference that I went on would help us like it did. We brought them in to do an assessment of our school in the spring of 2022, and from there, the relationship began to form through stakeholder surveys, interviews, focus groups. We collected the data that a third-party organization came in, because myself, I look through blue and gold lenses all the time. I wanted to know the good, the bad, and the ugly as we started to prepare and collect that data to start building our school improvement plan, which is the heart of our accreditation journey. So it was just a wonderful partnership that we was able to form that dated back just going and trying to professionally develop as a head of school and to see what we could bring back to Cottage Hill Christian Academy. It prepared me so much and our team, but the assessment in the spring of 22, and then, of course, we was able to gather that information to start putting together our plan in the fall.
What part of that in our partnership with them is we had a retreat that our school committee went on, that our leadership team at the school went on, and I guess it was around October of 22. And so I got to sit in some of those meetings. It was a long weekend, a lot of stuff that we covered. And again, as an alumni, being able to sit in the room with people that taught you, that were on leadership team, you have this realization of like, wow, like so much goes into this. The school doesn't just fly by the seat of their pants and make these decisions not thinking about it. But the amount of thought and prayer that went into this weekend kind of blew my mind a little bit, and it was so fun to be a part of. One of the main things we did on that retreat was kind of form the start of new mission and vision statements for Cottage Hill that we were able to present to our Warrior family at State of the School in January of this year. So yeah, it was kind of just a really fun, very thought-provoking weekend. So would you like to tell us a little bit about kind of like what a mission statement is and why it's important, and why do you feel as if it was kind of time to change ours at Cottage Hill?
Yes, before I do so, I just want to talk about that retreat. Anytime you can get school leadership, such as your school committee, your leadership team, members of your administrative team, and also church leadership all together with the same mind, the same goal, and the same purpose to advance our school. Like I said before, Cottage Hill Christian Academy for 60 plus years has been that of a good school. And we don't want to grow complacent, and we don't ever want to grow complacent, and we always want to take it to the next level. And yes, it was a very long weekend, but it was a very productive weekend because now we're able to see the fruit that came from that retreat. And one of those was that of developing a new purpose or a new mission statement. A mission statement is a brief, powerful statement used to communicate our school's purpose and values. It serves as a guide for decision making, goal setting, and communicating with you, like we're doing today on this podcast, and our stakeholders. It's important because it defines who we are. Who are we as a school, Cottage Hill Christian Academy? Our values, what are important to us as we move and advance His school in the days ahead, and provides direction for us and our people. It helps everyone know what we stand for and the goals we are trying to achieve. What I like about a mission statement is every .org starts with a mission statement, but we want people in our building on a mission. I know that sounds pretty profound and simple, but it is yet profound. That's when we know that we are truly successful. So we want clarity, direction, and purpose for our organization, and that helps shapes our culture to be able to provide a great educational opportunity for our students and families. We decided it was a time to update our mission statement because we personally felt, as we evaluate everything, that our mission statement was too long. It was a great mission statement, don't get me wrong, but if you were to ask our team or anyone from the Cottage Hill family what our mission and vision statements were, they could probably give you a rough Cliff Notes version or an outline of what they said, but it was just too long for anyone to remember. So our goal was to simplify it for us and our community to truly understand who we are.
Yeah, I love that. So again, like I think a mission statement really helps us tremendously when it helps us like tell our story to our community. If we don't know who we are, how are we supposed to tell other people? So would you mind sharing our new mission statement and why you think it is important?
Of course. Our new mission statement is simply put, we provide a Christ-centered education that prepares students for excellence as lifelong disciples. You know, when you look at this statement is important because we want everyone to know that our students will be taught from a biblical worldview, and excellence is the standard. That is the standard. So you have to have a standard there, and that's the standard that we're trying to meet, excellence. And we do this so they, referring to our students, can be ambassadors for Christ and influence the world when they leave our walls. So I think when you say we provide a Christ-centered education, first and foremost, our students are going to be taught from that biblical worldview, and it prepares students for excellence as lifelong disciples as they go out and be ambassadors for Christ. So we're excited about that. We encourage everyone. We as a leadership and administrative team quickly memorize that. So anytime we come in contact with anyone, we want to share the mission of Cottage Hill Christian Academy.
Yeah, so at the same time that we were writing this mission statement, hand in hand, we started also writing a new vision statement. And I think that many times people can think that mission and vision statements are the exact same thing, but really they're not. So they go hand in hand, but I think the biggest difference is that the mission statement describes what we do, but the vision statement describes kind of like how we do it. So would you tell us a little bit about our new vision statement and kind of, again, why you think that's so special to us?
Yeah, our strategy statement and or what we call our vision statement is this. Through the Cottage Hill tradition, we cultivate authentic relationships and community. We prayerfully partner with families to develop tomorrow's servant leaders today. When you start to look at this, first and foremost, people say, well, what is the Cottage Hill tradition? And we say through the Cottage Hill tradition, we are recognized as the oldest evangelical school in the state. And as I mentioned earlier, for 60 plus years, we've been enlightening minds, enriching hearts, extending hands, and we do this through a partnership with our families, not just a everyday partnership, but prayerfully partnering with our families. And I love the last part of that vision statement, to develop tomorrow's servant leaders today. Christ came to serve. Christ did not come during his earthly ministry to be served. And we want our students to understand that as they become a Cottage Hill graduate in the days ahead.
I think it's really cool that we weren't just looking for what we want to do right now, but kind of how we want to prepare our students once they leave here. I think that's really important. So while, that already sounds like a lot that we kind of covered on this retreat, that wasn't it. It didn't stop there. At the same time, we also took some time to assess our core values and kind of where we base everything that we do and the decisions we make here at Cottage Hill. I remember the topic of conversation when we started this process. The biggest question on the table was the idea of what values do we want the community to see in a Cottage Hill alumni, a current student, or even like our stakeholders. And so that was, again, the big question that we kind of filtered everything through. And so Ms. Brazell, I don't know if you remember, but I think after brainstorming on this question, it was really hard to narrow these down to a limited number. I think they instructed us on trying to get like 4 or 5, and I think we finally settled on 7, and they let us slide with that.
Oh, Katie, I remember that was a long night in regards to listing numerous words on the whiteboard and the smartboard there. But at our core, or any institution, we wanted to focus on a few fundamental values that make up what we call the Warrior Way. And of course, as you just mentioned, we did settle on that of 7 words. The Warrior Way is built upon the core values of faith, love, respect, excellence, accountability, integrity, and service. Some of these words you might see in our mission and vision statement. They hold a special place in our heart of what we're trying to accomplish as we move ahead. But quickly, I just want to talk about those 7. Faith. It starts there. That's at the forefront. We're going to keep the main thing. And we believe in the promises of God's word, allowing it to transform our lives. Love. God changes our hearts in order to make us capable of love. We always talk about a heart issue with our students. So we have faith, we have love. The third is respect. Honor and value everyone, believing that God created all people in his image. Excellence. You see that a little bit earlier in our mission statement. Striving for excellence should be a part of all we do. That is the standard for us, excellence. Accountability. We will be held accountable before God, and we are men on earth to hold each other accountable as brothers and sisters in Christ. We see in the book of Proverbs all the time, iron sharpens iron, and we want our students to hold each other accountable, and that's what makes Cottage Hill Christian Academy such a great place as educators to come, because we hold one another accountable each and every day as well. Integrity. Perfect integrity can only be found in Jesus, and through him we are able to aim towards true integrity for ourselves. And service. You see that a little bit later on as we talk about our mission and vision statements. We are called to serve others with the grace and love that God has bestowed to us. And once again, I cannot reiterate, the greatest model to follow is that of Christ. Christ came to serve, not be served. So they're in no particular order, but these 7 make up what we teach our students in our halls each and every day about the warrior.
All these things really do lay a great foundation to who we want to be as Cottage Hill Warriors. Again, our students, our alumni, our stakeholders, everybody. So the process to redo this mission and vision statements and core values, again, wasn't an easy one. A lot of time, effort, and even a ton of prayer went into finalizing exactly kind of what we wanted this to look like. And we even reached out to faculty and staff and to get their input, to parents, to stakeholders, to kind of see if we were on the right page of kind of who they also thought we were. And so that was cool to get everyone's feedback before we actually decided on this is exactly what we want to do. So for me, it's been a really cool experience to see the school committee and the faculty and staff and everyone kind of just come together. And again, we know that we're on the right page whenever everyone kind of gets their input. So Mr. Brazell, is there anything that you would like to add?
Yeah, I would just like to echo what you just said in regards to, hey, Warrior Nation, we thank you. We thank you for being a part of revisiting the mission and vision statements and our core values. It's through your participation. It's through your partnership in surveys, focus groups, even our Friday family forums that we have a couple of times during the year. So we can clearly tell who we are as Cottage Hill Christian Academy. It may have been a busy first 20 months and fast pace, but to be honest with you, I'm looking forward and greatly looking forward to the next 200 months. I don't even know how many years that is, but at the end of the day, at Cottage Hill Christian Academy, I'm just excited what the Lord's going to do through this ministry in the days ahead, and I am so grateful for our rich history and that Cottage Hill tradition that so many over the last 60-plus years has invested and partnered and chose to send their children to Cottage Hill, and we don't take that lightly. So thank you for being a part of the mission, vision, and core values. And I know in the days ahead on future podcasts, we're going to start talking about some of those strategic objectives that you were a part of as well as we collected this data, as we move his school forward in the days ahead.
So there's so many exciting things happening on the Hill. And like we talked about last week when we had Coach Thomas in here, that we made this big announcement this past Friday, and something we're super excited about. We got to announce our new head football coach at the Hill. So, Coach Brazell, why don't you tell us a little bit about him?
Absolutely. We're ecstatic to have Coach Stacy Luker. I can go on and on about all his accolades. He's probably tired of hearing me say that, but in regards to an Alabama High School Athletic Association Hall of Fame member, 238 career wins, 6 state championships, but most importantly, he fits that of Faith Family Future, and we're excited to welcome him. Coach Luker, just tell us about the first couple of days and what it's been like in regards to meeting the team, all the pomp and circumstance and all that kind of stuff, and just tell us about why you are here at Cottage Hill Christian Academy.
Sure. I put it to my boys when they was asking me about it last night. I said, it's like been a big to-do. That's the way we'd say it in Sweetwater, Alabama. Big to-dos. Man, it's been pretty neat to be a part of. First class is a good way to describe what Donna and I have been exposed to for the last couple of days, and just getting to meet people and talk to the kids. It's just exciting for, I guess, a new beginning. Never saw myself here. I'd be honest with you. I think when I went to Clark County 6-7 years ago, I thought that'd probably be it for me, and still wasn't so sure when I stepped away in January. I had some things on the table, but I really couldn't decide. But this one caught my attention, and so had to be something different about it that did that and made me really look into it and dig a little deeper and get here. So just excited to be a part of it. So much for me to learn on of just how things are done here, so that's a change. And Donna and I just trying to find somewhere to be now here in the next couple of months. So sort of glad that it's going to be slow, that I'm not going to be full-time till the summer, because that gives us a little time to just sort of get adjusted and to get ready for the year. So, man, just glad to be a part of this.
Absolutely, Coach. And, as you and I have talked many times, the Lord's timing, you're a man of faith, and that's awesome in regards to that, and that's what attracted you to us. So when you look at your accolades, it's not every day you get the opportunity to hire someone with your resume, but what continues to press me is the type of man you are and the leader of young men, and how you align. Coach Thomas has heard me say, Miss Katie West has heard me say, when you align your priorities with Christ, family, academics, and then that or whatever's next. And for us, it's football. You're not going to go wrong. And we've taught, we know that the Lord's been in this. It's mutually beneficial for both of us. He's blessed you with so many talents, so we're glad you're here on our campus as our next head football coach. And, we're just excited to meet you and Miss Donna and the rest of the family and get you going. As you saw probably over the last couple of days, the support that Warrior Nation provides. That's one thing I shared with you. I was part of a stretch where we lost 21 straight games, and our people still showed up and showed out and wore the blue and gold and supported us. And, for everybody out there listening, make sure you reach out and welcome Coach Luker and Miss Donna to the Warrior family and show them what Cottage Hill Christian Academy is all about. And that's family. And it's just not a word. We just don't say that. We live that, and we're just excited about the days ahead, Coach. And you not only are you our head football coach, but you're also going to be helping Coach Thomas as our assistant athletic director, focusing on 7 through 12. Coach Thomas he's in here with us today. I'm going to let him just kind of reiterate some of that as our athletic department grows. Our athletic department grows and our sports get larger, and we're getting more and more competitive across the board. And we're becoming that everything school. We needed to expand that. So, Coach Thomas, you don't mind just chime in and echo some of those sentiments as well.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Brazell. But, first I'd like to just, speak again about the community. This morning on display again, we had several people come out to share their excitement and just to be able to serve. And that's just the place that Cottage Hill is. And it was really good to see the excitement around Coach Luker and the announcement of our new football coach, but being able to see all of our people be consistent in who they are, to come together and to make this morning really, really special for a lot of people. But, Cottage Hill is very relevant when you talk about athletics, especially in the city, in our community. There's a lot of things happening at the Hill, a lot of new things that are happening at Hill. Programs are growing. We're excited about all of it, and being able to have someone of Coach Luker's stature, not only just in what he's done with football, but the bigger part of influencing young people, which is what we are really about, and using his platform and his abilities, that's God-given abilities that he's been able to cultivate over a very lengthy and successful career, is something that we are very, very excited about, and the alignment of that and how we can continue to help develop our young people. But athletics here from 7 through 12 are growing, and there's a lot of opportunity for us to continue to improve in that, and being able to pull on Coach Luker's experience in building and developing is something that we're really eager to do. And I know that that's going to be a huge asset for us, not just because of what he can do, but just in the growth of who we are and the mindset of what we are as a school system.
And talking about building and development of our student athletes and investing in the lives of our student athletes, Coach Luker is also going to be on the church campus in the morning times. He's going to be able to build those relationships with some elementary families. And how important is it, Coach Luker, to build those relationships with younger families and get the development of our lower level football programs, and of course our middle school and junior high, our JV teams, depending on that, for the future of Cottage Hill Christian Academy.
Well, I mean, you touched on it. You just get to know them, and you can watch them grow and build those relationships when they're young. I always think, or always believe, that was like a big part of our success at Sweetwater. I actually taught some lower elementary classes, and so I knew those kids, and you could spot a quarterback, early if you needed to, just from that standpoint. But everything we do anyway is about relationships in education, and so it's very important. I know just for them to see me and for me to have a part of that over there also.
Well, we're excited. You're gonna be a man of many hats and so forth. So we're definitely gonna be praying for you in the days ahead. But it was a blessing to meet your wife, Miss Donna, this week as well. 36 years of marriage, three sons.
That's right.
And 8 grandchildren and 1 on the way.
And number 9 on the way, and 3 daughter-in-laws. And as I told y'all, I might love my daughter-in-laws more than I do my boys now. So, but God's really blessed our family. It's a close family, very close-knit, and we watch after each other, and we laugh together, we cry together, we share. So it's God's really blessed us through that. Hasn't been some families you see so much division, but we don't experience that at all, and it's just a blessing for us.
Absolutely, and it's a joy, like I said, to have you guys down in Mobile these last couple of days, and of course we're going to be praying for that transition, and kind of speak on that in regards for the month of April and May. I know that we've talked about, the plan would be right there that first week of April, try to get you down a couple of times a week. And then, of course, once we get into June and July, start ramping up in preparation for the fall. So just kind of tell us about the plans and the timeline in regards to that, because I know this has been a busy weekend for you down here. I know Miss Donna's in education as well, and
yes.
Y'all have a spring break coming up, so maybe we'll get to see you some at the end of the month down here as well. But just tell us a little bit about that transition and what your plans are in regards to that.
I begin to come April 3rd, and going to work some Mondays and Wednesdays during April and May is sort of the plan right now. And April will probably be spent me getting to know kids, watching Coach Jones, what he's doing with them in the weight room, just evaluating and looking at equipment, seeing the needs, seeing what I'm going to worry y'all with. So I'll be spending a lot of time doing that, and then whatever else that y'all need me to do and y'all ask me to do. May, I hope to take the kids out for, I don't want to call it spring training, but just some extended after-school work without helmets, just doing some installing and really, some on-the-field things where they get an idea of what I want. And I can watch Coach Jones. What does he like to do? I've depended in the past. I'm not a guy that pretends to know everything. I've always depended on my assistant coaches, and especially if I have a good young one that's eager, that has a future as a head football coach, I'm really going to lean on that guy, and I can see him being that guy. So anyway, I'll be doing that, and hopefully find a couple more coaches to bring on staff, and then we'll hit the summer running, man. 3 days a week, June and July, and spend whatever time we need to up here on those days. Can just do so much in the summer now, and so we'll be doing that. And I'll be anxious to physically watch what they can do, and when I say physically, to me, that's putting pads on. But I know I have to wait till the week of July 31st before I can look at that. So I'll be excited about that time coming. But that's the plan right now. It could change as we move forward. So we'll just see.
Coach Thomas, reiterate the fact that we do have a lot of multi-sport athletes, and the talks that, of course, you've had with Coach Luker and, of course, us at lunch that day. In regards to that, and just kind of echo, Coach Luker's sentiment on multi-sport athletes, and then we'll let Coach Luker chime in as well.
Yeah, it's important for us just because of the landscape and the makeup and the dynamics of who we are athletically, is that our student athletes play multiple sports. Being able to engage in several different sports that we offer. And the fact that the coaches work together in that respect is what makes it work. And coupled with the fact that you have several student athletes who want to do more. They want to do. And there's a lot of guiding that you have to help them maneuver through in terms of not overdoing it versus, doing everything. But one of the cool things is we have guys, girls, young ladies, young men that engage in a lot of different sports. And, just talking to Coach Luker, that's something that, he's used to. Because you grow up and you come through, or you work and you come through organizations that you see it working to the good, and being able to have our hands on our kids, no matter what sport it is, just makes us better all around. So, yeah, excited about that.
Well, I just think, having those guys and those girls that play more than one sport, it's just so important for the culture of your school and your overall well-being in the halls. Because they're going to support every sport, and it gets all the coaches involved. And I've been at small schools most of my life, and played 3 sports when I was coming through. So it's just part of who I am and part of what I expect, and love for kids to play more than one sport. Play 3 as far as I'm concerned. So it's just something I'm used to.
I wish we had another 30 minutes because we're just sitting here talking 3 athletic-minded guys and Miss Katie, who, of course, was a golfer here for us.
I did more than just that, okay?
Yeah, and basketball, but I still see you on the links because you're still playing. I'm not seeing.
I can still play.
I'm not seeing you in the gym getting up shots and all that kind of stuff.
Nobody wants to watch that anymore.
But I guess as we start to wrap up just this segment, like I said, I wish we had more time. And, Coach, we're just excited for you and your family, and excited for us as an institution. Just in this time on this segment, you hear the fit that Coach Luker is to that of Cottage Hill Christian Academy as it aligns with our school motto of faith, family, future. And we're just excited about the days ahead. And, Katie, I'm going to throw it over to you so you can go ahead and start wrapping us up in the segment.
Yeah, just like they said, Coach, we're excited to have you and look forward to kind of what's to come in the coming months and to see our football program grow. But, again, before we wrap it up, we want to ask, what's kind of like something that we just need to know about you? A fun fact, something you like to do just to get to know you a little bit.
Don't have a lot of hobbies. Like to do a little fishing. I mentioned to y'all I taught myself to play the guitar during COVID. That was just out of boredom, I guess. I needed something to do. Been known to sing really loud, and that gets on Donna's nerves, but I do it anyway.
But he'll have to put on a concert for us.
Yeah.
Sounds like a first fundraiser.
You may catch that coming down the hall. Donna always told me when we were working together, she said, I can hear you coming because you're humming and you're singing. So you'll probably hear a lot of that, and I don't even know I'm doing it. But, I just enjoy people. I enjoy being around, enjoying kids. And, and I think that's what keeps me going, what keeps me in it. I really couldn't see myself when I got right down to it to being out of coaching just yet and being out of education, because I do like the relationships that I've been able to build over years. And thought it was pretty cool. I know this is not what you asked, but I want to share this. I just thought it was cool yesterday after it was announced. My phone blew up, and I had 7 or 8 former players that were reaching out to me, congratulating me, and of course, that just makes me feel good, and that's what it's about. So, just about relationships. But again, I told them I'm a pretty boring person. I want to be honest with you, but I just enjoy life, enjoy family.
I love it. So we're excited to have you here again, and thanks for joining us today. We look forward to, again, what the program has to offer us.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of What's Happening on the Hill. At CHCA, we will keep the mission, expand the vision, and demonstrate warrior pride in all we do. Make sure to keep up with all things Cottage Hill by following us on social media or visiting our website, chcacademy.org. Cottage Hill Christian Academy, where we live out our motto of faith, family, and future. We'll see you next time for another episode of What's Happening on the Hill.